Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask a question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to share content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12 inch or above. So we will appreciate if you use the 12 inch or above screen size for legible text. Welcome to you all. My name is Vishal and this is our cohort for APMP. I believe I'm audible. Just want to do a check. And this is, we have good now mic check. It's very important. We usually the microphone actually lets us down. Give me just one moment. Let me just add a couple of our colleagues who are joining on Zoom with us. While we talk about that, we are live on Zoom. We are streaming live on LinkedIn. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and that's pretty much it. Other than, so people who want to interact, they mostly come on the Zoom and they post their questions. And of course, the others are also more than welcome to join in from the other platforms. Okay, so with that, we will start our cohort today. This is a 15 minutes cohort of Association for Proposal Management Professionals, people who are in the bid industry. In a more simpler words, if you are doing tenders, if you're doing quotations, if you are a pre-sales guy, this is or if you, for that matter, if you are a business development guy, professional rather than a guy, that's not the right word, am I bad? This is the association for you. This association has a body of knowledge and it has certifications as well. I am foundation certified already. Very soon I will be appearing for my practitioner's exam as well. And hopefully I will clear by flying colors. And that's it. So this is the industry. If you want to know how the industry is actually, what is the ho-hum of the industry and how the industry is handling your colleagues and your peers in the same or on a different organization, how they are tackling the day-to-day problems and how they are making their life easy and letting the people inside the organization as well know what all information is required to compile a bid. This is the place, and you will see that every one of us who are especially in the bid have crunch of time. We are always at the mercy of time. We try to get as much information as possible and try to make a responsive bid by which people who are actually joining with us, as far as the bids are concerning, I mean, just one moment. So as far as the bid, we are doing it to the client, so they can emotionally as well as, of course, technically connect with us, because it's the emotional touch or emotional connect when you make up with your client, as far as the bids are concerned, is the point wherein you start selling. It's a very key takeaway. And the bids does not start from the day it has been released into the market as an open bid or a closed bid. A bid starts from the day that the client has a need identification done. they want to purchase it, and there are some terms, for example, business case, which they want to put it to their management and say, sir, let's say they want to buy a fancy new software and fancy new hardware, a new PC, touchscreen PC. So they will put a business case to their management and convince them why they should be investing money in this. Similarly, when you are selling, let's say you are a seller who is selling these touch screens, you will help them out with the key points, like for example, return of investment, for example, the features of this of the equipment. Secondly, for the example, perhaps for the how you can they can shorten the learning curve of the people who are going to use it. As far as training is concerned, just let's take an example. As far as training is concerned, the end user with the software. So that's what we talk about in this book club, and I'm doing a refresher of session number 25. Somebody in our book club, they said let's do that again, and perhaps they are already live, they are already listening in, and I said okay, no problem, we will do the refresher of the session number 25. Since we are a book club, we welcome criticism in a way wherein we get blamed that what we are doing is simply reading the book. Excuse me, we are a book club, and that is what we are supposed to do, right? So welcome to session number 26, and we will move on. As far as the first, understanding business development, I will not go into that because we only have 15 minutes. Focus on the customer. We are in this knowledge area at the moment as far as the body of knowledge is concerned of APMP. From focus of the customer, we already seen compliance and all those topics till the time you see this the box linking opportunity plans and proposal content. Now the APMP body of knowledge, actually if you read the book from top to bottom, it's not a book in the first place. It comes in actually online. They have bok.apmp.org, and if you read it that way, it's more or less like a logical collection of best practices. So let's say you're setting up a business or you're upskilling one of your business. You will start with understanding business development, okay? Then you will move into focus on the customer. Then of course you have a customer, you got your customer understanding. Now you need to lead your team to find out, lead your team to get those information out to them and make the customer understand and convince with your product. Okay, so that those things keeps coming up. Then manage your processes. Now processes are set understanding rules and the way the thing you do across the organization is more or less process. If what happens, it's like in a relay race, there is the baton that the people have. So in a relay race, if one team member is supposed to run the race to some extent, and then he or she is supposed to give the baton to the other person, so that output of this guy becomes the input for the next guy, and this input, if it is not correct, the other guy will not be able to run his part of race in an efficient manner. So that's the reason managed processes is required. And of course, to manage these processes, you will need tools and systems, and then you create the deliverables, which will be submitted to the client. Okay, your deliverables can be your bid submission, can be perhaps a business case as well, because they will come to you either by a complete building of a business case from the scratch, or you use boilerplates where you can pick up from the other places. Like for example, if it's a out of the shelf product, you might want to pick up some of the features from here and there and build up your document and give it to the client. And the last, of course, train your staff. Very important. If you do not train your staff and if you do not upskill them, and of course give them enough resources for their own work, they might turn into a disengaged member, that's a very scary figure or research that was done by Gallup. They say more than half of your employee are not engaged, and these are not toxic people. Toxic people among those your people are only 19%, okay, and 16% are people who are actually into are engaged. So you need to give them those tools and information so that they can do their work as a team leader. So we are looking at linking opportunity plans and proposal content. Now this part comes into being once when the company was before the RFP was released. What they do is they create the opportunity plan and they create some content so that they can give it to as in your team, as in the bid professional. They give this content to the client. Now that's a very hard work put in there. Okay, they put a lot of hard work to create those content. All these flashy content that you see at the moment on your screen at the moment, the logo on the top right, this all took time. Okay, though it looks very eye pleasing, and same way when you're building up or you're compiling your bid, it should be eye pleasing to your client as well, and of course easily understandable to them as well. There should not be there should not be very small fonts, bigger fonts and all those things, but I'm not talking about that at the moment. What I'm talking about is the content and the information that you've collected at the time of doing an opportunity plan. Now those needs to be mapped to your deliverables, how you will use that content, because the client has already they have already eyeballed your content, and if they see the same content again and if they have validated before saying that yes, this is exactly what I want, they gain faith in you as in the organization. So of those proposal content, start with a robust opportunity plan capture. Now that has to be a very a robust one so that you can reuse it as far as the whole bid cycle of your opportunity goes. So which includes that you should have a customer, you should think from the customer's approach, the customer mission and vision. You need to align yourself with them, the customer's hot buttons, their problems which we need to sort it out, okay, and a competitive assessment, which is your competition, your company who are bidding, who are either are bidding with you, you know of them, or you feel as in these guys, these organizations would also be bidding parallelly with you, maybe reactive bid or a proactive bid by giving a previous working them from the pre-bid stage. So you need to do an assessment for them. Then your win strategies, wherein you will bring out your the positive points and your discriminators as an organization and as a team. What is that you bring onto the table your competitors cannot bring, your incumbent competitor does not bring. And then discriminators, we already talked about that. And of course your win theme, how you're going to win this bid. Anticipated actions necessary to win. Okay, so there might be some anticipated action. Perhaps they want a demo which is not very clearly spelled in the bid, but you know that by going by the experience of this client that they might ask for one of the bids. So that's one of the things that you would be doing. Extend your opportunity or capture plan into a user-friendly proposal plan. So your capture plan would be mapped into your proposal plan. All those information would be, of course, if the bid is asking for it, you will simply move into it. So it's more or less like a copy-paste going forward. So what are the customer issues? Okay, they might have not worded or verbalized or worded their issues in the bid itself. So you might want to put it in a, in back of your mind that they have not worded it over there correctly, because these are procurement team. They don't have the time and luxury to read the whole content. So they might they might not have written the problem statement very clearly over there. So but since you have an understanding of their problem, you might actually gain some brownie points from the client. The customer perception of discriminators, strategic actions with an emphasis on collecting and monitoring evidence. That will be required to make a compelling argument to the customer, like a draft a theme statement. draft value propositions, ensure careful maintenance and oversight of your opportunity or capture plan. Now that's very important. That comes into the review cycle. So if you have at the stage of opportunity or capture plan, you have captured some information which is not getting transferred, or which is not getting transitioned into your bid itself, and it has been identified as a very important point at the time of capture, because these bids, these large value bids, does not have an open overnight. They take a lot of effort to build over the months. Create a summary sheet of key information, and we will have my bad. That's your summary sheet. So what you and this also tells you about you can see what buyer is asking for, what is competitor asking for, your win theme. For example, successful multicultural events. So you perhaps you are an event management company, and you have seen across the region you have delivered successful multicultural events. So that is one way of doing it. Okay, and then use your buyers' worries. What are the hot buttons and their worries, top proof points, how you validate and how do you substantiate that, how you have come over problems, and your as an organization when you're bidding, your innovations. And that's the last one is of course the feature, benefits and discriminators. I call it ikigai of your organization. So overall, if you see, this is a sweet spot for your organization. That is your discriminator, whereas what customer needs is and the competitor does not have it, and of course you as an organization have it. That's going to make your life easy to win project. Okay, with that, I just realized that we have overshot our time by 5 minutes for today. With that, we come to the end of our session today. Any questions? I will just give a couple of seconds for our people in Zoom, and let me just check if there is anything coming on the our LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. If not, we will close with the BPC Con, that was a business proposal conference that happened in Mumbai, India in September, and your book club was awarded the Community Service Award. We will close with that video, and then of course we will close the whole session. So I will just give 2 ticks, tick 1 and then tick 2. I don't see questions coming up. Okay, with that,